What's up, guys? Today I will be playing Gran Turismo 7 in the World Touring Car 700. Now, firstly, this is a post-game commentary, and this is the first or second time I've done a post gameplay commentary in my career on YouTube, if you want to call it that. I'm looking to bring you guys more of these type of videos because this race and every race in this World Touring Car 700, or at least the ones I've played so far, have been intense. I'm probably going to play them all in the wrong order though. As we get started, going up the straight, and I immediately restart knowing I'm going to overshoot it. Will the second time be the charm though? We go up the middle, look for a braking zone. That time we broke too early, but at least we made the corner. As you see, I'm playing from the third person perspective. That perspective changes all throughout this video like it does right here. But now going down the second straight, and we're approaching that V8 Vantage. We get right past him, make the move, get onto the curb and shoot out and try and look for more positions. Now, the thing about this race is, while I'm doing the single player, obviously, the thing about this is, I was never in a position when I did this race the first couple of times to be like, dang, I have the pace, I just don't know what to do. And so, this was the first race I had that resulted in that, and right here, that same G70 that I was trying to make a move on earlier just crashes into the Ferrari. Not exactly crashes into him, and then more contact there as we hit the back of him. Going into the second lap, we get on the outside of him, make the move on him, make the move on the Genesis, and then as we approach this corner, the Genesis grabs his position back. And this is where the C splits wide open. 1 and 2, 2-for-1 deal. And we get past both the Genesis and the and the Audi TT Cup right there as we break into the next corner and make our way around. Now, that Corvette that you see ahead, we have some problems with. That white Corvette right there. But right now we're focused on the move past Kawakami in the Lexus RC Group 4 car. And I mean, after this, almost nothing happens for the rest of this lap. We continue going on. We overtake the Cayman, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, and we got well past them. And now making the move on the Corvette, something absolutely horrifying happens later involving this car through that same corner, coincidentally. But in this race, we've already made up 6 positions, and as I said, pace was my problem through the first couple of times. Didn't really understand nothing, but right there we put up the fastest lap time. Then we break up into this corner, make the move, go down onto the straight once again, looking for the move on the dude in the Ford Mustang. I'm not going to refer to these drivers by names. I'm going to refer to them by cars. I'm sorry. We almost hit them right there as we broke like way too early, and then we try and get through to them, but almost end up pushing them off the road. And as you see right there, I go to the reverse camera twice because of how nervous I was. Had 2.2 laps of fuel remaining, and I didn't exactly have the strategy I would come up with later. But we get a beautiful, well, not beautiful, but a great enough overtake on the Mustang right there, pushing it full speed through the corner. And as you can see right here, we got more cars to catch up to. So let's get to doing it. Going into lap 4, we make up some ground. We're 1.1 seconds behind the other cars and slowly closing the gap. As you can see, look at the skies, clouds are starting to group together more and more as the race goes on and on. We pass the Lamborghini, We passed the 86, the Toyota 86, and we get 3 overtakes, I'm pretty sure, in one section right here. Now, I get hit completely in the back while making my overtake by what I was pretty sure was the 86. I never really understood that. I don't understand why he did me like that. That was kind of dirty, honestly, but it is what it is. We go down the outside of this corner, make the overtake on the Honda NSX, and everybody through this section is just clumped together, looking for the move on Lopez. And here's a weird thing about, I'm pretty sure all the races in the World Touring Car 700, considering him in that BMW, he likes to go into the pit lane at the 5th lap every time. We make the move on Salas in my favorite car, the Alfa Romeo 4C, just a Group 4 version though. As we go down the corner, we have 0.9 laps of fuel left, and I decide, screw it, we ball. We're making it into the 5th lap at least. And this would be a strategy that would change a lot over how often, the 3 times I did do this race. And as you see, I go into a complete lean mix right there. Nothing much really happened here. So we go into the first corner. 0.7 laps of fuel remaining. We absolutely cut the track there, and I felt disgusted by it. But yeah, 0.6 laps of fuel, 12% remaining, and we are living on a prayer right now. We're living on a prayer. So looking at these guys, questioning if we can get the move done. We go around the outside of the Suzuki, get the move done. And now our sights are set on Kokubun, or so I thought, as the Swift came right back inside of me using the entirety of the curve. Next things next, we move through this section, simply just trying to gain time. And that was the thing about this track. The more I played on it, the better I learned it, and you'll see that later in this video. I'm pretty sure I put up a faster lap time than a 139, 4.34 or whatever. But we go into the pit lane, surprisingly saving 0.4 laps of fuel. And as we head into the pit lane, I switch to the soft tire, thinking that, okay, I can get faster here. I'm going to be in 11 for 12. I can make up those positions quickly. And apparently, we take forever to come into the pit lane, because we are moving at like 4 miles an hour apparently. Also, another thing, I just realized I didn't have to replace my tires at all. I was on racing mediums. I could have very well just gone ahead and said, don't change my tires. I will gladly keep going on the medium. And now you see how many positions we lost. We're all the way down in P17, now 20. Looking for a first place spot, it just wasn't going to happen. We do get 19th right there though, off of the same Genesis we overtook in the beginning. And now he's in 20th. I feel kind of bad for the dude. He had a decent, better starting position than me at least. But yeah, we get 2 overtakes right there. Make our way into that corner. I believe that Corvette took that a little bit worse than I did when I did it. But I'm not going to say anything. If he's going to take it at the rate he's taking that, he's going to take it. But for some reason at this point, I didn't just switch to power. There we go. And yep, that's the accident I was talking about. Going down the straight, the second straight, and we make contact with him. Don't worry, everyone is okay. He's just in a lower position now. It is what it is. And as we keep going, continue going at least, we make the move on the BMW. A lot of guys decided to pit around lap 6 here. And we are now looking for a move on the Suzuki once more. Now, it was at this point that I started losing faith in my ability to gain first. However, we gained some positions off of this. And we got back into the top 10 with 7 laps to go. So, thinking about it, I'm like, okay, we might have a chance here. We might have a chance. Into 10th place, looking to make a move on the Lamborghini a little bit later into the second straight of the track. We break very early, but get the move done on the Lamborghini. And as we continue getting later into the lap, we eventually see that first and second decide to go to the pit lane. And so now I really had hope, because we were going to gain 2 free positions, actually a handful of free positions here, getting us all the way up until 4th. And it really did look like I had a chance at winning this race. I was still on the soft tire, but if you haven't noticed, if you look at the bottom left corner, you'll see the moisture level is starting to get high. And will that be something I take into account? Notice that the car slid very far right there, and I was like, okay, it might be a little bit wet, but it's not going to get more than that, right? It's rising a little bit, but it'll go back down. Clouds might be cloudy, but it'll stay the same. Then you hear the rain. Anyway, making a move for the driver in P2 in the Viper and looking for P1. I thought I was going to get this on my first try, but apparently not. I tried to hit him with a switcheroo, but I didn't have nearly enough speed carried with me through that corner in order to do so. And so we moved down the next little sector, just walking behind him, and once again the car is slipping. I felt the car slipping, didn't take that much into consideration, and you'll see that right here as we approach the end of the lap. Portilla makes the move to the pit lane in order to switch his tire to a wet tire and intermediate. Me, meanwhile, completely ignoring the moisture levels that are clearly rising and the rain that is clearly on the windshield, am in pure bliss and think, hey, I got this, right? Nope. Completely wipe out to the wall, hit the side of it, respawn. I think, okay, I'll just go down the straight, I'll just move less speed than usual. And I could barely even make this turn right here without spinning out onto the main straight, damaging those back tires like heck. Had this been scorching the hot weather, they'd have been exploded. And so I think, okay, I'll just move very slow, I'll pit next lap, I'll switch onto some wet tires. And as you can see, the gap between me and Yamanaka is only getting further and further away. 38 seconds, 38.63, 39.102, 39.458. And as we make our way down this second straight, we absolutely slide trying to make our way to the point on the side. And as you can see, the gap behind us isn't looking so much like a gap now. We lose 1 position, 2 positions, almost 3 positions in that one corner because of that, and then we absolutely skid out and I quit, which leads us into attempt number 2. However, would attempt 2 go as well? Now knowing the strategy that I needed, I decided to go into more of a lean mix. And oh god, this music is copyrighted. Oh crap, I think this music is it is what it is. We switched to the power later on in the race, and yeah, the strategy was simply to fuel save going into the later laps. So we make the move on the Genesis right here, although they bump us a little bit. That was pretty much on me. We break up here, 4 cars taking the same corner at the same time, looking behind me to see if the Ferrari was truly behind me. And now right here I had an option of either staying back or advancing forward, and I chose to advance forward, breaking away from the Audi, making a move on the Corvette, and attempting to make a move on the Lexus. That wasn't exactly clean though. And as we get deeper into this race, the Cayman, which had proved to be very, very competitive towards me, just absolutely did not stand a chance here. Go for the switcheroo up the inside, and we take that position. We are now in P13 on lap 2, a lot better than what I had been doing before. 2.214 seconds subtracted from the fastest lap, and our fastest lap this time was actually worse. But that may soon change as we now go down the main straight, looking down on the Ford Mustang that sits in front of us. We break into the main zone, make the turn again, and probably not my cleanest recovery. But it doesn't matter because this car, at least I felt like, had insane straight line speed, and that made a lot of these races easier, especially down the straights where I would, as you can see, be getting a majority of my overtakes done. However, what I sacrificed, I feel like, was the handling. I feel like I couldn't, I just was so focused on speed and getting by them that when it came to extending how far I was on the track, I never really paid it too much attention. But regardless, either way, we make the move up into 12th place. This section right here was actually my favorite section of the whole race. Just those two corners, the way they, I don't know, something about it I just love. But now we make the move down the back side of the track. And as you can see, P11 is not that far away. We bump ourselves a little bit on the end right there. And we are now officially into lap 4. Now, as you can see, I still have 2.1 laps of fuel here, 41%. And I was looking to make that last. Not my cleanest take of that corner. Once again, that was a corner I really struggled with for this whole race. I don't know why I put myself on blast so many times with that corner, but yeah. Looking for the move on Magano though. I'm gonna refer to them by either car or it doesn't matter. Making the move on the Mitsubishi Lancer, we attempt to go for a switcheroo, but it doesn't exactly work because once again we don't have the speed in order to make the move. But we will attempt to make a move on the outside, going to the inside. We will attempt it once again, and this time we pull off a proper switcheroo right there. Or I don't know what a proper switcheroo is exactly. And as we approach the beginning of lap 5, you see the strategy changes. We go from the power onto the lean, trying to make this fuel last as long as we possibly can, trying to stretch out another lap of fuel. The Dodge and the Alfa Romeo we easily squeezed by, which I did question a little bit after that race, knowing that they have more speed than me, but Salas pulls an absolute ridiculous dive bomb right there and just allows us to reclaim his position again. As we now go down to the end of the track, 0.6 laps of fuel remaining, Portilla and the Viper makes the move to the pit lane, and I decide we ball. I am going to grab as many positions as I can, and we're going to grab 2 for free right here. Actually, a 3rd for free. And we'll move up into P6. Actually, I think I was in P. I don't know what position I was in. But yeah, and this race started to look very winnable. Until I had 0.2 laps of fuel left, making my way down the same part of the track as last time with 1% fuel, letting Gallo pass me in the NSX. My only goal here was to get to the pit lane, and well, let's just say things don't end so well from this point forward. As we make our way into the pit lane, not only taking forever, but making the fatal mistake of hitting don't refuel after that. And here's what I had to say.
That wasn't supposed to happen. Now I have, oh my god, this is like the, oh my, no, pause the game, bro. This is the 3rd time I made this mistake. I went into the pits with no fuel remaining, and I accidentally, in the hype of the moment getting there, hit don't refuel. Oh my brother, oh my.
And as you can see, it very frustrated me once to take a 3rd race. This is so infuriating. And And there's some more emotion on display right there for me. Purely aggravated by my own idiocy and my own choices. Last time we were on lap 2, we made the move from P20 to P13. This time we weren't as fortunate, but we would adapt the same strategy, now adapting a Power Lean Mix 4, as we made the move past a couple of these cars. I'm pretty sure they were fuel saving too, because there's no way they should be this slow. But yeah, absolutely frustrating that last lap, or that last clip. And yeah, that's all I can really say about it. We make the move down the main straight on lap 3. We take a couple positions, get back where we were on lap 2 of the previous race. And this time, going through the corner, we can't take it again. That corner is my enemy, but apparently it was his enemy too, Sugawara. I forgot what car he was driving, but apparently he had taken that corner badly as well. And we now go ahead and attempt to make the move on the Ford GT once again. Not really much competition here. Excuse me, brother. I'ma squeeze by you on this corner. Somehow he didn't get hit. And as you can see right here, I start to use a lot more of the curb. And I stay out here longer on my way up. As you would see, maybe a couple times in my previous laps, I would lazily make my way over to the middle. Now I'm using the full extent of the track. Finally taking some of these corners decently. That one was taken pretty bumpily. And while I'm at it, I might as well mention I was doing this on a controller. So yeah, I probably can't drive that well in real life anyway. Going down the main straight, we go and slam the brakes. I don't know what I was trying to do there exactly. I should have just stayed behind, but as you can see, there's a sea of positions right there, and we're just going to try and slide through and take it. It was a very risky bet, but it paid off as we get P10 in this race. And now looking for the move on the Honda NSX, going through this sector once again. I'm not even referring to the tracks by their proper turns or turn count or whatever. We make the move on the NSX, break down the zone, go inside, go along the outside, and do what we usually do. P9, 4 laps in with 2 laps of fuel remaining. And yeah, Lopez right there, he has this weird thing for pitting every time, like a lap or so earlier than everybody else. I think he's trying to undercut everybody, but it's not working. I don't know what his thing is.
I actually think that's crazy.
And as you could hear me right there, I thought that was my fastest lap. It was not my fastest lap. My fastest lap was the lap I set in the other race. So yeah. And then we make an absolutely horrible move right there, but recover well enough at least to grab P7 and P6, all before getting to the bottom of the straight. Now making the move on the Swift, once again going down the inside. And I mean, going down the inside, I really compromised the great exit. As I'm starting to notice, going down that turn early, I started to compromise a lot more solid exits and stuff like that. Blasian once again in the Swift makes a big move on me, but not only that, the Toyota 86 just rams into the side of me. And as you can hear me right there, I'll let him speak.
Going up the inside.
And we get smacked across the face. And if you didn't hear me right there, I called him an idiot. I was mad. I was mad in the heat of the moment. But yeah, we gained we gained 1 position up to P5. 0.9 laps of fuel remaining, and we most likely will make it. We're gonna go for a move on Solace again, and I'm pretty sure this is where This is where things tend to strike back because I tend to go for the move he went for earlier, and I end up going too wide, resulting in him taking his spot right back. But yeah, that right there, I just simply was not aware of the pit lane line and got mad for no reason, although I was pretty much in the wrong. Right here, we make it to the end of the lap finally with 0.3 remaining, and like last time, I don't make the same mistake twice. Listen to my reaction.
Keeping my finger off of that button. Keeping my finger off of that button. Last time it did not end well. I'm keeping my finger off the button.
And as you can hear right there, I was determined to not press that button again. Going into lap 7 off of lap 6, a healthy amount of people pitted. This was a good pitting window. And so, with 4.3 laps of fuel, we make the move to try and get back into a top 10 spot. Now the plan was to have a 2-lap stint on these tires, going from this lap to the next lap, going back into the pit lane later, and then grabbing a fresher set of tires. And I'm pretty sure that worked out well. We go up the inside, making the move on the Suzuki, but the Suzuki gets right around us in an honestly impressive defense, in my opinion. They weren't scared at all. And now making our way down the main straight, you already know, or the second straight, my fault. We just have a crap ton of straight line speed, and we beat them out because of that. Now, right there, just like right there, that straight line speed is what cost me. Now, looking at the bottom left corner on the beginning of lap 8, and you will notice that we start to get wet. So the plan was to let these softs go into this lap. Hopefully with the light rain they won't allow me to skid out or anything, and they didn't last time, so why would they this time, right? We make a move there, although not the cleanest, and it's definitely not the one I'm the most proud of, but I had to do what I had to do. So next thing's next. Haywood right in front of us right behind him, and everybody is going to be making the move to the pit lane this lap. He has his indicator on, letting everybody know that we are all going into the pit lane. And hopefully, since it just had to be a quick change of tires, since I had 2.2 laps of fuel left, I'd be fine. But I intended on using powers, so you already know what your boy did. Now, as you notice, Yamanaka has not pitted for a new pair of tires nor to refuel yet, which means he's just way further than everybody else. Get into the pit lane, we switch our tires. I think I let it go up a little bit, like to 3 laps, yeah, 2.9, and then we immediately came out. We lost only really 1 position because of it, and I switched to the wet tires. Now, everybody else switched to the intermediate. I switched to the wet because I was not at all confident in my ability to engage in a race of this magnitude, especially in those tires. Going down the main straight, I didn't know exactly when to brake, and as you can see, that caused me to be a bit slower coming up into the main straight, or the second straight. Now, as you'll see, and as I pointed out, Yamanaka has not pitted yet. He is 51 seconds in the lead, and he's just getting ready to, I'm pretty sure, within the next couple of seconds. But ignoring that for now, let's focus back on the race. On the Toyota 86 right in front of us. I mean, he just had a way better line through all of this. We get to his inside, trying to push him off a little bit, trying to push him wide, but it didn't really help him. We just were fighting to fight, and that's something that you don't exactly want to do in this situation. So taking after him, and I can already feel that I'm slower than him. Yamanaka finally goes to the pin, and we are catching up noticeably. 26 seconds, 25 seconds, 24 seconds, and we're less than half a second away from Kevlum in the Toyota 86. And as we go up the main street, I'm looking to gain one free position here. Everybody else has gotten a free position or so. I get my free position and I get past Kevlum in the 86. However, Yamanaka gets out the pit lane early and I say no. But also, I say something that sounds pretty stupid. Three.
Everybody in the front is in the Supra. That is crazy.
As you can see, I thought everybody in the front was in the Supra when in fact, Kevlum was in the Toyota 86.
Y'all know the strength of the Supra.
Then I said I know the strengths of the Supra and whatnot through that corner, which was just ignorant. But yeah, absolutely done. Kokubun was the only one I'm pretty sure who was in that 86. So I forgot who was even in the lead. I'm sorry. I do not mean to say, oh Jesus, that's not gonna translate well. I'm getting canceled. But yeah. Looking for P2, going down this last section of the track, and I forgot what he was even driving. I forgot what Hazard was even driving, but he is just way faster than me, and I kind of put that on me not switching to intermediate tires as opposed to wet tires. But as you can see, Kevlum is less than 0.3 of a second away from me. Now I'm going to gain a little bit on the straight because of my speed and this stupid sound. And we will clutch out P3. And here are my words of excitement as we finish the race with less than 12% remaining.
Oh, I worked so hard for that, man. Thank you, God.
We finished the race. We get third. Didn't get first exactly. I think I could have done better. Honestly, if I just switched to the intermediate tire and not been so concerned about fuel, I think I would have been fine. But I will take a P3 finish, especially in that race. Anyway, this has been The Real James. Credit to these guys and their beautiful, beautiful pictures in the community. And I will see you guys next time. Adios.